What is good, guys? Charles from Team COG coming at you guys here with some Mermail Atlantean locals. I think this is what I'm going to end up doing, or like how I'm going to kind of make my content moving forward for some longer end content. I want to go ahead and push this video because as I'm recording this video and doing the voiceover, YCS Houston is happening, so I need to rush and get it out because maybe by the end of end of today, which is Saturday, or the end of Sunday, there's not going to be the same list of Mermail that's going to be allowed to be played. We're going to head and drop them all chummy. We're just kind of getting the camera set up here. Instead of doing the traditional POV, I just thought we'd try this for like longer form content. I do sometimes like longer form content because like I do edit one large video versus like multiple smaller videos, which seems to be a little bit easier here. But we're going to see Pegasus go ahead and equip the put the dragon in the spell and trap. Dragon's going to attempt to summon from deck and I think play, so we're going to ash it because that seems like a good choke point, but I guess not because he has Rainbow Heart, I believe. I think that's what it is, or no, that's Rainbow Bridge. He's just activating, I believe. He activates one that lets him place, then add, and then he activates one that lets him just add a spell or trap. And then this is, I think, Crystal something. I can't remember off the top of my head. And for all you guys out there who are like, you should know the cards, man, there's like literally 30,000 cards in this entire place. So I know that's Ruby Carbuncle. I know these are Crystal Pegasus and stuff like that. But he's going to place his Tiger, which beautiful ultimate rare, but definitely seen like better days. Probably should put down that Tiger, take it, put it out of its misery. But we're going to see him pretty much combo off here. And what he was telling me is this Crystal Beast strategy has essentially kind of become a Skull-Dread Turbo, which if you guys are familiar with the channel, we love Skull-Dread decks, especially from like World Chalice to Crusadia Guard Dragon back in the day. We're going to see the Banshee search the Poplar special summon. Poplar going to go ahead and search him out. A Snake Eyes card. I don't quite, the Field Spell, which is pretty cool, has some synergy with this deck, being able to move stuff like forward and backwards here. He's going ahead and put the big old Diabell stakes. It's kind of interesting to see the Snake Eye stuff since it's been like a few formats, or like that was only like last format, I think, that we don't get to see stuff happen. We don't get to see Snake Eyes around in popularity. But we're going to see Cross Sheet be summoned, and we're going to see an overlay here of, I think we go Dugaris. Yeah, Douglas the Watchless here. He's going to detach 2 to summon out the Pegasus to equip from the deck. I'm not even going to equip a place. I'm so used to playing like equip spell decks and stuff like that. That's just what I think it happens. When a spell and trap goes to the back row, it's not being placed, you're equipping it, because that's just what we've been doing a lot lately here. We're going to go ahead and use the Diabell Star to summon itself. That Diabell Star Snake Eyes, I think is what it's called, to place the Poplar summon itself. He's going to contact fuse into that Magistus, like a Synchro or a Tuner level 4. And then Ruby Carbuncle to summon a bunch. And here we're going to see Skull-Dread get made. And so if you guys don't know, Skull-Dread arguably was on the chopping block a long time ago, which is kind of wild. So he's going to draw 4, put back 3, goes a +1 here. He gets a special from the hand. I do believe he ends up activating Kyoto Waterfront, man, a blast from the past. So now I know, like, essentially looking at my hand, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to, like, beat this if he's able to get, out Skull-Dread. So he goes in and links off the Skull-Dread into Zelantis to get 1 counter, and then he goes in and banishes. These cards come back. Pegasus to go ahead and place, excuse me. He's going to go ahead and place another dragon here. But I think there was a misplay he was talking about, and he was supposed to link off the 2 monsters and try to like continue to link climb to get more counters on Waterfront, because now he's exhausted his Skull-Dread and he has no way to get that Gameciel down. So these are just like common misplays. Like I said, this is a smaller locals. Definitely, just so you guys know, this is like a small. I think we had like 8 people, if that, due to like just last weekend was a regionals and just stuff like that. So our player base is just kind of didn't show up for this one. We also had like a Magic pre-release, so like there was a lot of our Yu-Gi-Oh players or Magic players, poor guys. They were playing in the Magic pre-release that happened. The recording of this is Friday night. He's going to go talents to try and draw 2. Hopefully he drips into something pretty good. So he ends up ripping into there's so many different crystal spell and traps. But this one I think is going to sack 1 and sack 1 to search 1. So he searches the counter trap here. Now maybe like you're sure like I just have to play through a Zelanta or a SP and this counter trap and 1 unknown, and it's like, okay, I guess this isn't too bad. Maybe if I would have read the counter trap, I would have like known a little bit better. But I guess after I saw like the mix up, like him not being able to get Gameciel out, like I kind of just felt pretty good. We're going to go Minstrel, banishing use Minstrel to look at his hand, and we're going to trigger Shadow Squad, but he will get sacked by the grave. Which sucks, but I mean, it is what it is. I've been literally not a big fan of ever since I started playing Mermail. Getting sacked by a one of Called by the Grave just kind of sucks, but that's the part of the game. So we're going to attempt to use the Spirit to go ahead and try and summon out by sending another copy of Shadow Squad. Then this is where I'm reading the counter trap. The counter trap's kind of like, oh, well, dang, I wish I'd read that. I might have tried sequencing my play a little bit better. But that's just like Yu-Gi-Oh at its core here. And also, if you, I don't know, like for those who know, like my Multrami got me, like I drew double Abyss Shrine and then double goons, or not double goons, double squad. And that's just like such horrible bad. Like I have all the cards to draw, right? Like that's what I get. But we're going to try and push through here. There's not really much I can do. I guess arguably looking back at it, right? Like at the hindsight's always 20/20. I could have normal summoned out this Pike. I don't have the ability to discard because I don't have a water in hand. So I should have linked into Alacia, also known as the Mermail Spears, and then attempt to crash into the Little Knight. He would then use this card to pop, and then I'd get to like play a little bit further, get access to Prince. But anyway, again, that's why we do these videos, man, so we can look back and see the correct line of play. We get to go into game 2, and I get to go first here, which is already pretty scary. Minstrel pitching, I think that was Shadow Squad. Look at the hand. I see 0 for, there's no disruption. So now I'm like, okay. So since he has no disruption, I want to hit cards I don't care about and try to like Mulling Glacier him for other cards. Shadow Squad to summon out the Prince. Prince to send Dragoons to, I believe we add Dragoons, or no, it was send Dragoons. We already exhausted Minstrel, so it's probably send Dragoons, add Poseidra. I think that's what we go for. We add Poseidra. No, we go for the Abyss Shrine, and then Goons will add as Mulling Glacier, the Sea Cow. I'm very conflicted with this deck. I know we go, whoa, actually, hold up. We go ahead and we grab Poseidra. See, like, this is me post-editing or post-recording. I don't see the lines. I was, you know, I don't, like, Mermails don't cook. They drown. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting here drowning in the water, drowning in the water, trying to learn these lines. So we end up going Shrine, and we're using Prince to go and summon. I think we go for Coelacanth. Yeah, so we summon out Coelacanth, and then we go ahead and use Shrine to bring back the Dragoons. That's 4 waters, and then I go ahead and normal summon out Pike. I decide opt to not use Pike's effect. I don't know if I had the ability to. I think not, because all my level 3s are in rotation. Detach to summon out Toad. Then Goons is going to give me that final search for the Sea Cow, Mulling Glacier. But yeah, I'm very conflicted with this deck because like I've been looking at the OCG, right? And the OCG like kind of has it perfectly. If Toad's gone, the deck can still do some things. It just like, I don't know, man. Like I'm very conflicted because I don't believe hand ripping is fair, but I also, like, as you guys have seen in every video that I've ever kind of done, I also don't believe decks being able to play, like, 23 non-engine and open, like, 3 hand traps and still be able to, like, play because they have multiple 1-card starters is also not fair. So it's like the dichotomy, like a necessary evil in my opinion. Like a deck like Mermail should be able to do this because decks like Malice and decks like YuGiOh with all these 1-card starters are allowed to exist. And then the decks that sadly suffer are decks like, as you see, Crystal Beast here. They open 0 non-engine, so my Mulling Glacier was able to rip combo pieces, which is just, like, unfair. So I end up going here for the Coral Anemone to bring back the squad. Now, I've actually been kind of, like, I don't know how to put it. Like, I've been favoring YuGiOh over the Glacier, but Glacier gives, like, really good follow-up. But here, since he triggered Popular, I'm able to, like, look at and just rip another card, rip his starter from his hand. And it just feels like that feels nasty. And what's even wild, man, is everyone's wanting, like, Minstrel to be hit, right? But, like, Talents is, like, a free shuffle back. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everyone can play Talents, but not everyone can play Minstrel. So, in phase, he gets his card back, which is Rev Synchron. He goes in normal Rev Synchron. He goes, like, Battle Phase. And I was like, hey, hold up, what? Like, what is there something secret that I didn't read, that I didn't know? And then he's like, nah, we're just going to go ahead and go to game 3. So, we scoop it up and go on here to that game number 3. And he's going to get to go first, which is pretty crazy. And this is just, I hate... Like, it feels good, but also it feels bad. So he goes and activates one of these crystal spell cards, which I cannot tell you the name of. I'd open double Mulchummy, and that's just, like, again, like, why I don't understand Konami's, like, design purposes is because, like, double Mulchummy, being able to activate the same Mulchummy, it's just so stupid, man. I feel so bad for, like, it feels good dropping them. It sucks being on the receiving end. That's just, sadly, like, what the game has progressed to because of Konami's poor ability to design cards and, like, deal with the power creep that's been going on. But anyway, we're going to see the Rhoda come up to go ahead. And I think it lets him place and searches. Yep, so he searches out the Crystal Pegasus. He places the Dragon. And then he has waterfront access already. So I'm like, okay, so like if Gamecill touches down, it almost doesn't matter what cards I draw because Gamecill, game is in the name. It's going to be able to out resource me with counters because like if you know my buddy here's smart, he'll let cards resolve. And certain things will always have counters, which is just wild. But he's going to attempt to banish the thing to summon from the deck. I'm going to chain 1 Furos, nothing on response to the Furos. I drop another one, so I'm going to get 2 draws. So my goal here is, like, maybe I'll draw into, like, Imperm Ash I'll draw into Impulse, at least to be, I think I have Impulse in hand. So like I'm holding Impulse essentially to be able to drop it on the Skull Dread if he decides to get that far, which he potentially could. He's going to go Talents, and I think he opts to draw 2, but I'm like, you know what, you have 1 card here. I'm just going to go and Ash you there because I have Impulse. He goes Thrust into Dimensional Barrier, excuse me, which... I don't know if that... I mean, like, that's a decent call because, like, the good thing about Mermail Antians is, like, XYZ is our strongest, like, extra deck, like, mechanic, right? But, like, we are able to synchro due to, like, fish stuff. We're able to link climb. So, like, it's not as impactful as what some may think here. But it is, like, if you have D-Barrier and you have nothing else to side against us, we should. Now, arguably, you could just make Dweller. But he was telling me post-game that he didn't have space for Dweller because the extra deck for the Crystal Beast is so tight that he just is not having it. And I was like, dang, that kind of sucks because Dweller would have probably hard cooked me right here. But at the same time, like looking at it, I don't think it would have. But right here, you know, he's just thinking on what to go into. He's going to give me 1 more draw regardless. That's a draw 2. Which is insane. Like what I was ranting about before is like, it just sucks being on the receiving end of a double Fuaros, especially like in today's time. Like, but like, it's like same, you know, at least this card will get like really, you know, active, like widespread availability after Stampede. But again, man, it just sucks being on that receiving end of not just 1 but 2 Fuaroses. I definitely could see Fuaros getting, especially in the TCG for some reason. Like that's why we don't have Max C. Like I could definitely see like some of the Miltramis getting hit, especially since like, you know, Max C was draw 1, right? So funny enough, I actually opened Minstrel all 3 games, man. And this time Minstrel like is in my deck as a 1-of because I side 2 out when I know I'm going second. So I actually got to see the 1-of Minstrel. This just goes to show you how powerful Minstrel is for our deck. Just because, like, Minstrel being able to see that hand also, like, sometimes the hand doesn't matter. I mean, it always matters, but sometimes it doesn't matter because, like, you're able to trigger your stuff. So I go ahead and normal summon the Prince, which I don't know if that was correct to do, but I normal summon the Prince. I know that, you know, this thing negates activated effects, or negates the activated effects, but it doesn't say I cannot activate them, so I still activate the Prince. Send for cost the infantry to pop the Baguska. And now, like, thinking, I was like, I know his hand. I just got to put on damage. But so sometimes, like, should be easy, right? It should be easy. But depending, sometimes you need access to your XYZs because your XYZ, like, especially Poseidra, gets pretty big. But anyway, I go Poseidra, summon Poseidra, go Chainlink Mentor, Chainlink 1 squad, Poseidra Chainlink 2 to go ahead and force the D-Barrier just to go ahead and get it out of the way. Kills XYZ, no big deal. I just got to send for cost with the Poseidra. That's one thing I wish like some of the players would like understand. I had to make sure to let them know like what's the cost, so like they can see what I send first. But sometimes, man, they don't care. They're gonna flip it regardless of what I send for cost. And I know sometimes it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. But sometimes it could. But squad gonna summon out the Pike. I'm brain dead here. Also, Pike's getting a QCR, which would be nice. Especially, I don't know, like depending on the ban list, what's gonna happen. So now I just gotta put on damage. I gotta put 8,000 damage on. I go ahead and link here into Quarrel an Enemy. I go ahead and use an enemy's effect to go ahead and reborn out. Yeah, so I reborn out the Minstrel. Go ahead and use Shrine, pitching the Coelacanth to summon out that Teus. And I think there's just I think I'm trying to like look through and like overthink because there's no point in trying to like there's no point in sitting here and just going wombo combo. Without having XYZ access when I have enough bodies on build. So I pull out my phone, I try to start doing some quick math because I just want to see. And I think that this right here is 8,000 exactly. 28, 2000, 17, 18. I think this is 8,000 exactly. So I just go attempt to just say battle phase. And we just swoop on in there. And we take game 1 here at our tiny locals. Going on into game number, or excuse me, we're going to game 1 on round 2, playing against my man Paul. I roll an 8, he rolls boxcars, which is kind of crazy, which we're playing against Tachion, I think that's what it is. It's Tachion. So he's been on this deck for a while. I go ahead and drop Porilia, which is kind of like the same card that this deck can just benefit from. Every deck can almost benefit from Porilia in the same way, but like Mermails have the ability, since it's a water, we're just able to like, even if we open multiples, you know, like I mean, like even going first, going second, it's a water discard, which is like, gives them a hand trap a lot more impact, a lot more utility in certain decks, if you ask me, especially when they can proactively use it. But yeah, so anyway, he go ahead and special summon, uses the Schwarzwigger. I don't know if that's the name of it, special out the Galaxy Afterglow, and then that he's just gonna overlay and go into that new Drigluvion. Like, these cards are so, like, man, I used to, like, if you guys don't know, like, on the channel previously, like, I've been a huge fan of Galaxy Eyes. Like, my favorite form of Galaxy Eyes Photon was, like, literally, like, making Soul Flare, normal summon Night bring back, you de-overlay for, like, Galaxy Lord, and, like, you were ending on, like, Galaxy Lord Night plus, like, Cyber Dragon Infinity. Like, those were the days. And, like, this new stuff is just, like, I don't know, like, I understand trying to put restrictions on cards, right? But then, like, why put restrictions on this deck that's already, like, slightly weaker, but then you have a deck like Ryzeal that has, like, its restrictions are, like, null and void. Like, the deck is still able to do some crazy stuff with its restrictions, but you're going to Dragon Lock, and you're going to XYZ lock this deck, knowing that there's a Link monster, and, like, you hit number 90 exists, you know what I mean? It just seems like it's poor, a really poor card design, and it's, like, seems like Konami's, like, foolproofing the wrong stuff. Like, I don't think Galaxy Eyes, even if it had the ability to go into other rank 8 XYZs, would be that bad. What is cool, though, that they did do, it allows you to search Tachion Transmigration, which is that counter trap that can be activated from the hand, and that counter trap literally shuts down the whole chain, which is really cool. But he's going to go ahead and I think normal summon out pretty much Galaxy Eyes Poplar, which is nice that you've seen, like, a change in the Poplars lately, because, like, Poplar was, like, the first card of its kind of. I wouldn't say the first card. There's definitely some other cards like Poplar that existed, but they're very, like, bad. But, like, Poplar, like, set the standard. So now, like, every Poplar card that's came after Poplar has now been, like, it removes itself. Like, it doesn't have, like, some cool effect to come back. It normally specials itself from its hand, and then it either, like, manipulates its level. I'm talking about, like, the Shark one, and this one, like, tributes itself to summon. So, like, it removes itself. Unlike Poplar, which allows you to search, like, a plethora of busted cards, and then, like, it just places itself back. So, like, in its own strategy, it synergizes extremely well. And it almost does, I mean, like, clearly Snake Eyes existed for a while. Like, we know Poplar did a lot for the deck. But good thing about this is he's been able to give me a few draws. And, you know, like, since he's, like, the deck is, like, xenophobic, if you guys are, like, Space Marine, Warhammer 40k fans, you know, xenophobic. It's, like, pretty much, like, anything but Dragon XYZs is, like, all it's going to be able to make, and, like, Hope Harbinger's, like, literally the best. Like, so, like, I have to play through essentially one counter trap and Hope Harbinger. And I only play 3 spells in my deck. Call by, Talents, and the Tristania, or the Tristaria, the equipped spell, the Mermail one. So, like, this generally, this, like, 38 is just going to be pretty much there to manipulate the battle, but I'm going to be able to hopefully solve it soon. So he makes double Tachyon, and the reason he does this is because I know he has a Tachyon Transmigration, so that means even if I remove one, the other will be there. And which is crazy to think that if I can bait one, bait two, so he's going ahead and quick effect try to summon out this other Tachyon, which I think this searches him another Transmigration, but I decide to stop it. And I think he just has the one Transmigration in hand. So I go Poseidra effect here, ditch Dragoons. And this is what I was getting ready to say. This, like, Poseidra should, like, if he didn't have, like, the third Tachyon, like, I'd be able to out both Tachyons in one go. Target this, use the, to bounce, and then I want to send for cost the infantry. So it's already pitched Dragoons, right? Go infantry, or go Poseidra to bounce that, and I think we go infantry to go ahead and target. I think at this point, like, I think I'd go after the other Tachyon Dragon, the XYZ. But essentially Dragoons searches that, and then on a separate chain we're going to go Pike, or not Pike, infantry. We go ahead and target the other one, because I'm like, oh, well, if I solve the other Tachyon, I should be able to play through it. But he goes in, Transmigrations that. I was like, okay, so I don't know. I think you should have shuffled that back in. I think Pike, or not Pike, I keep saying Pike. I don't know why. I think infantry should have got shuffled back in. But I normal summon the Prince. Activate Prince's effects, sending for cost. Squad. And I get to add a, I think I can add Shrine is the call. No, I add another Poseidra. And that's interesting. Why did I go Poseidra? I already have access to, maybe I just didn't have another good seat. Maybe I already opened Shrine. And then I go Pike. Pike, discard Dragoons to search. I'm going to go ahead and search for Minstrel. And then Dragoons is going to search me for the Prince. I think, I'm just trying to figure out what the heck was I thinking. Like, why, maybe, like, again, like, I can't, the bad thing about this not being point of view is I can't see the hand. But I go Minstrel, look at the hand, banish the talents, trigger the Prince to summon back out. I guess, okay, now, all right, it's all coming together now. It's all coming together. We go ahead and we make Toad. He goes and triggers Regain to go ahead and bring back the Magnamut. Like, okay, I go ahead and detach here to go ahead and search. Or not search, but yeah, I'm going to get the search. Summon out Toad. Search off Dragoons. We're going to go ahead and grab another form of Squad. Just because we're trying to get water names in hand. I really hope that... Oh, no, I have Tejas. Okay. Tejas pitching Pike. This tournament, I actually had like a tremendous amount of bad luck. I was opening like double Pikes, and like there's one game, man. I think it was this one. I opened like double Pike and Grethus. Or maybe it was the next one. I can't remember. But there's like one game. It's either this one or the next one. I opened like 2 games in a row, double Pike and Grethus. And it's like statistically, what is the chances? But I end up going here for the Shrite. Tried to bring back the Minstrel. I go Shrine, tribute the Prince to go ahead and summon out Coelacanth. And I think I go Coelacanth. Alright, first off, I go right into Poseidra. So that I can like bounce and start, spinning these cards back. And I'm just trying to get damage on, essentially, is what my goal is to do here. So I go Coelacanth, pitch one of the other squad in hand to go ahead and summon out. I think I summon out Grethus. Or no, I think I summon out my Pike. Oh, I can't use it because I've already went through all 3 Pikes because I opened 2 and summoned 1 off squad. I was like, well, that stinks. So now I just gotta like think here. I'm like, okay, so what's the line now? I think I just use this in overlay, or not overlay. Activate the overlay network and link summon into. I think we just go into an enemy. We go an enemy effect to bring back out the squad, I think. So then I can discard squad. Yeah, go into squad effect, I discard squad, which is kind of wild. Like, my hand advantage is kind of wild. Like, he's just kind of having to sit here and hope that, like, I don't know what Hope Harbinger does, but I know what Hope Harbinger does. I make YuGiOh just to make a big body, and, like, YuGiOh and Toad, like, even if I mess up and can't OTK or there's something I'm not thinking about, like, this is pretty decent. But anyway, I use Poseidra, detach 2, and then just dump for cost to go ahead and spin back 3 cards. Like, this card is so cracked, man. So I decided to bounce back the 2 XYZs and the quick effect guy that he's already, the Tachion Dragon. Go ahead and bounce back. So now I just got to beat over a Magnamut, which is not, like, too dangerous. But I actually am able to link into the Prince, trigger the effect of the Poseidra to summon Soul Charge back 3. And then I should actually get to search for Triana here, but I forget about it. But I end up summoning like 3 level 3s, 1 tuner, go right into Trishula. Trisha's going to be able to banish the Magnamut, the Lobelia, and then it's just, that's enough for game right there. So yeah, we're going to wrap it up here and go on into game 2 here of round number 2. Game number 2, my hand is kind of weak. I do open I open Fulwaros, I think. Guys, what's your favorite type of coffee to drink? I'd like some comment down below what's your favorite type of coffee. I've got a good old cup of Folgers here while I'm commentating. But we're just sitting here now. Man, like, he owes some Tachion. Or he goes to Searcher into set, which is kind of wild, man. Like, some people that play the Searcher to search the Searcher, but then, like, if you get drilled after your Searcher. So I drop Fulwaros here. He decides to Ash it. So there goes, like, my 1 disruption, right? And it's like, darn. What are we going to be able to do now? We got to hope our engine. But see, that's like a common misperception I think a lot of people don't think about. They're like, oh, Mermail sucks going second. When it's like, have you read Poseidra? My brother in Poseidon, have you read Poseidra? Because, like, the card literally bounces a card and dumps for cost. So, like, we're all right. Like, the deck, like, I do miss Megalo. That's why I got that Field Center there from Ophidian cards and accessories there. So that way I can represent Megalo even without having to play him. We see a normal summon a Safer Dragon tribute to go ahead and summon out. I think do we summon out the Poplar? Is that the... I don't actually remember yet Poplar. So, like, we're talking. Me and my buddy Zach, he was playing Infernobles. And we were just discussing, like, the new Flare Swordsman card and just stuff like that. Which I don't know if I'm all doing a video on that yet. I don't know yet. I do like what that card does for the strategy. It's definitely... It doesn't fix the issues. Only giving us back his old would fix that issue. But it does give us a superior extender that we lost with the loss of, like, OSS and, like, the Witch and stuff like that. So, anyway, we're going to make the OG Draguvion. Go ahead and detach to go ahead and summon out Hope Harbinger. Equipping our Tachi XYZ. He's going to go ahead and set 1 mysterious card and then pass the turn. And I'm like, okay, so this board isn't, like, too scary. He might have Transmigration, which I'm pretty sure he does, which is going to be okay to beat. Like, I'm not, like, super scared of Transmigration. I go and activate Tejas, pitching Grethus. Well, actually, I take that back. My hand's pretty dog doo-doo. So I go pitch Grethus, summon. Try to use Tejas effect to search. He Transmigrations. It's here. Transmigration is, like, interesting. Like, if you can get on, like, a long chain link, it's worth it. But I normal summon the Prince, and I'm like, okay, Prince effect, I go ahead and send for cost. So, like, I'm like, all right, play the 1 Transmigration. As long as he doesn't have another one, I should be okay. And like I said, I wasn't really paying attention, so I don't know. He might have another one. But I'm looking at my hand because my hand's kind of like poor. I think there's 2 pikes in my hand, actually. Believe it or not, I think. We'll see here. But anyway, I dump squad, attempt to trigger squad effect. Well, squad will trigger in a second. I'm trying to resolve the prince. I'm like, prince to resolve to add. And I think he throws effect veiler at it. He's thinking for a second. He transmigrations the prince. Okay, so double transmigrations down. Squad to summon back. Now, see, that's kind of like that's kind of hard hitting. I pitch the pike in hand. I think I go for shrine. And let's see here. I think once I get shrine, the correct play is shrine into coelacanth. But I've already exhausted. I don't have no fish targets. That's what's wild. Is like I had opened 2 fish targets. Yeah, so there goes the other pike. So literally, I've opened. This was the game. I was telling you guys about this. I'd opened double pike and Greethus, like 2 games in a row. So like it just makes my coelacanth just dead. Like that's just kind of wild to think. Like like this shouldn't ever happen, or if it does, it shouldn't happen too often. Like you're all right with seeing 1 pike, right? But seeing like 2 and then like the other Greethus, like seeing all your targets for your coelacanth is just kind of crazy. But we summon out Poseidra effect. We're going to go ahead and attempt to. So arguably, I should have targeted the. Hindsight, right? Should have targeted the number 38 to bounce it back so that way I could attack over something. But, like, we're going to go ahead and send. I think we send Dragoon. I try to bounce this. I don't know why I'd bounce. I don't know what the thought process was. We send Prince, summon out right here. But he's going to go ahead and at this moment he activates Spellbound. So everything currently in the field cannot be used to summon anything from the extra deck, essentially. And I'm like, dang, that kind of seals the deal because, like, my line was to. Not. I think we're going to go into the Marine Cess to bring back out the Greethus, I believe. And we're going to try and synchro climb and do some shenanigans that way. But, yeah, he just ends up manipulating the battle phase, so we just have to scoop it up here and go into that all-important game number 3. Where we get to go first, which is, in our favor here. He's going to activate Perillia, and I'm like, dang. So, like, I can give him a few draws, but, like, we're okay. So I go ahead and activate the Teus, summon out Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. It's going to add me, but I have to add Chain Block here just so I can make sure that my Dragoons goes around so I get access to Prince. So I'm trying to think in my head. I was like, all right, so I activate Perillia. Maybe there's a way for me to get around it. So I end up grabbing the Sea Serpent and the Shrine. I go ahead and pinch here. He goes and chains Fulwaros, man. So look at this hand. He had Perillia, Fulwaros, Ash, Nib, and some dragon. That doesn't do anything. So I'm like, wow, okay. So I decide to go ahead and hit the Ash, I think. And then I go ahead and trigger the squad to summon out from the deck. He'll get another draw. So, like, right now, since he has both the Perillia and the Fulwaros, like, we're just trading 1 for 1, I think. I'm going to go Dragoon's effect to send the Dragoons. He's going to drew Effect Veiler off of the draw Fulwaros, which is wild. I'll go ahead and add myself Molten Glacia. And I'm just trying to think, like, what's the correct play? We go Spirit to go ahead and grab back out Poseidra, I think is the play. We add Poseidra. Let's see. I think, yeah, we add Poseidra so that way we can play through. Because I know he's going to nib me, right? So Poseidra will allow me to kind of push through a nib in a way. But I add another Teus. Prince will trigger, summoning out the squad. 5 waters, special Molten Glacia. He draws a card. Hopefully he doesn't draw, like, Imperm or anything. And he's, like, contemplating. He's like, okay, so I either drop nib now and you still rip the 2 cards, or I hold and just hope that you don't hit my 2 nibs. And I was like, dang, man's a gambling man. I like it. I have a 50-50 chance, I guess. Yep, so I end up missing, I believe, both nibs. So I end up hitting Libellion, which was one of his draws, and so I know the last 2 cards in the hand is Nibiru. So I just attempt, I'm like, all right, well, right here, I have a set Imperm. All right, I don't have it. I'm going to set an Imperm. I'm like, all right, so I can either pass the turn here, not give him any draws, knowing that he has 2 nibs in his hand. And I think that's what we do. I think, yep, so he tried to move. He goes ahead and nibs us. I lose my battle phase due to Molten Glacia leaving, but, like, that's okay. It was going to happen regardless. There's nothing I could do because even if as soon as I use Squad's effect to make him level 7, whenever I'm made, he could potentially nib me there if he knew the deck. Arguably, I could have overlaid into, if he would have let the level 7s resolve, but I didn't want to lose, like, hand advantage or something. He decides to put it in attack because it's a smaller attack. I could have like possibly made Poseidra, like hard make Poseidra, and then like if he decides to nib, the Poseidra would trigger. But I decided to go, for my final action, I had to go Poseidra to go ahead and target, dump. And then I get to send Dragoons. Dragoons will add me, I think Prince is what I want to add here for follow-up. So we had Prince. In phase. Yeah, so we're setting on Imperm right there. He goes the 7th Ascension to go ahead and search the Tachion. And I'm like, dang, just me. Droll would... That's something that just goes in my mind. Droll would go so hard against, like, the 7th Ascension. And maybe that's possibly why it's being seen play. But, like, I don't know. I've not seen a lot of... I see some lists playing 7th Ascension. I see some lists not because of that reason. But he's going to go ahead and search out the Schwarzer Dragon, which is, like, a crazy card. He's going to special summon out. Special one from deck. And now, like I said, I know that his hand is Ash, Nib, and an unknown, but this unknown must have been the 7th Ascension, so I know he has no extension. Pun made. Busta Rhymes. So he's going to attempt to use the effect here to go ahead and, I think, rank up or level up, and I just throw Imperm at it, hoping that's enough, which it actually ends up being enough. Thank goodness, because like I said, we know what his hand, we know it's Nib, Ash. Or should we take that back? We don't know what it is, because he 7th Ascension put back something. Well, no, yeah, we know it's probably Nib Ash. And an unknown. Time is actually clipping down on us here, too, which is, like, stressing me out, because, like, I don't have a battle phase. He goes in and detaches for cost, just to go ahead and get a card in the graveyard. I don't know what the purpose of that was. I don't know if maybe he wanted to get that to the graveyard for some reason. But, yeah, I'm just explaining to him, like, yeah, I don't get a battle phase, so, like, we gotta, like, make some moves happen, so that way we can... Neither one of us lose in time here. Or draw. That was one thing. It's like, man, I don't want to draw. Because drawing, especially like so far. So I draw for turn. So now like it's like I got to remember he has Ash, Nibiru. Ash, Nibiru. Force the Ash, plan to Nibiru. The plan is simple. Plan is simple. So I'm looking at my hand. I think there's a way for me to get to Toad. I honestly do. I just think that pressure under time and stuff. And the pressure under the Nib existing and... time was kind of like made me like not see the line, but like thinking back to what my hand was, I do believe that there was a way for me to put Toad up on the 5th, but we decided to play safe here because like remember we don't get a battle phase. We go Dragoon, Prince, the dump and search, and I'm just thinking, and I think he ashed. I think I forget to trigger the squad. Yeah, like I forget to trigger the squad here. What the? Maybe this is where the hindsight I didn't see. So, like, there's summon 1, summon 2 would have been Pike. Summon 3 would have been Poseidra. Summon 4... Yeah, no, we still would have... So, we summon out Poseidra. Target, dump, and then Prince will trigger. I don't... Yeah, that's kind of wild. Either I didn't... Or did I just, like... Did he ash the squad, or did he ash the Prince? Kind of looked like he ashed the... No, because Prince added me Poseidra. Yeah, so he ashed squad. Okay. So, now we know he just has Nib, and we just got to play correctly. So, I summon back here, and I'm just like, well, I don't get a battle phase. So now it's just like we're going to hopefully make YuGiOh. YuGiOh is like my favorite. The YuGiOh and the King is like my 2 favorite cards in the extra deck. Just literally Poseidon and like Netibus just holding down the line here. Which this is pretty decent, especially since knowing what I got. This token is huge and YuGiOh is pretty big. YuGiOh is going to be able to skill drain whatever comes out, you know, depending. But what's scared is, so he ends up wrapping it up here. Like this was his hand. He drew Afterglow. So I was going to get another turn. So he had Ash, you know, that's just wild. But yeah, we're going on into our final match here, round 3, game 1. And this is a bittersweet match, man. This is Flame Swordsman Infernoble versus Water here. And this is such an awesome match, man. Just despite how it goes, it's awesome. Now, like, this right here is allowing me to, like, highlight over here. So I end up winning the die roll. And I'm like, all right, well, that's literally that you know, 80% chance for me to win, right? So my hand is garbage. My literally only starter is Pike, and that's literally it. It's so weak. It's just Pike and Impulses. So a normal Pike, use Pike's effect to go ahead and discard. I think I discard a Pike. Yeah, so like I said, this entire tournament, I was drawing multiple Pikes. He throws Ash here, which I'm like, well, yep, go ahead. Your turn. He goes Durandal to go ahead and search him out. I think he can search out... I think he searches out Ogier, or he searches out the Flame Swordsman. Yep. the Fighting Flame Swordsman. Normal is it to go ahead and get its effect, to go ahead and search out your Flame Realm. What's crazy about the Flame Swordsman stuff is, like, I don't know, man. Like, the deck arguably needs a 1-card combo to, like, keep up, in my opinion. But then, like, the 2-card combos that the Flame Swordsman stuff gives the deck is, like, really a lot. But also, there's so many, like, cards you don't want to see, which is wild. He attempts to go the Salamander Fusion, but I throw Impulse at it. I'm just, trying to keep him off of Big Guy. Big Guy being able to, like, would, like, cause a lot of issues. But essentially, it's, like, Flame Swordsman control. He's getting 1,400 right now, and he's going to be able to whack for a lot, but... yeah, so when we get the new Dark Flare Swordsman, I think that you're going to be able to bridge the deck. And the deck is going to essentially just be... we're going to still call it Infernoble because, like, you're still playing Infernoble cards and you're still ending on Infernoble stuff, but it's essentially just a Fire Warrior turbo is really what it's kind of 100% going to be because, like, you can play the Boxer stuff and you can play this Dark Flare Swordsman. He's going to try and fire off the fusion again, but here comes my second impulse to stop it. But this time, since I actually have a Trap Engrave, I'm able to destroy it. He's going to summon Renault to add back, and then, like, right here, he's just off to the races. Like, that's just... it's just kind of crazy not seeing this bad of a hand, but that's how it goes, man. You have, like, these insanely consistent decks, and every now and then they just kind of... it was bound to happen, man. Like, either I was going to bust out of the bricks, because, like I said, I was seeing a lot of Pike all night. Either eventually it was going to catch up to me, or I was going to swim out of the rough waters, so you catch my drift. But instead, I decided to get pulled under and drowned by my own waters, which is against the deck, my favorite deck. So, like I said, it's bittersweet. It's ironic, too. But, yeah, like, both decks I love wholeheartedly. Both decks, like, I really like playing Mermail has allowed me to, like, have a little bit more insight into, like, Infernobles, too, like, trying to play the deck and trying to build it. So that's why I like this current list that maybe I'll show on the channel featuring the Dark Flare Swordsman. We're able to... we use the Flare Swordsman as, like, a powerful extender. I don't think you opt to playing, like, it truly as the Flame Swordsman stuff. I think, like I said, you use the Dark Flare as a powerful extender while still using the Uppercutter as a 1-card combo, able to do stuff, because, like, this deck only has so many ways to Uppercutter, but then once you, like, have a card, like, with the Witch, right? With the Witch, we had multiple 2-card combos that got you into your 1-card combo, very much like Mermails, where you only have 3 copies of Prince, but you have 2-card combos that get you into Prince. So, like, that was, like, the theory behind it. We have only four copies of Uppercutter, but now we have multiple 2-card combos to get you into Uppercutter. And I was, like, playtesting the other night, and, like, if you get nibbed, because, like, the 1-card combo is not nib safe, unlike Prince here, like, that's the cool thing about Mermail Lantians. As long as Toad exists, we're able to put Toad up on our 5th summon, which might not happen after this weekend, but it's able to beat nib naturally by putting Toad up as your 5th. This deck doesn't, but this deck has the ability with the new Flare Swordsman coming out that when they go to nib you, you train the Flare Swordsman to tribute itself, summon out to level 4. Level 4 searches you a trap on summon, and then on separate chain, once it gets into the graveyard, you're able to dump the Salamander. So through a Book of Moon, or through a nib, you're ending on 2 Book of Moons, which is, like, still, like, that's crazy to think, like, you're able to, that's insulated, right? So, like, that's pretty wild. But now he's just trying to combo through. He's trying to play safe. He doesn't know what I have. I understand it, but I was like, I have no cards in hand. Literally, the only, like, the card that I could draw that would get me out of this is Prince, but he has the Book of Moon. I know he searched the Book of Moon, so it doesn't matter. So we're going on into game number 2. Infernobles taking it here, losing the die roll. This isn't good, boys. This is not looking good for us water players here. It looks like the Infernobles setting their heart ablaze, burning through, evaporating the water. So my hand's really bad, man. I open, like, Perilia. Frame 1's drop for all of us. I'm like, well, man, we're going to play this. My hand is not good enough to play through, so I'm going to pass it over to you, and I'm going to hope that my double Perilia will do something. So I was like, yeah, there's, like, no point in even trying. So I passed turn. During his draw phase, I drop Perilia, and he's like, well, surprise, I'm going to have to set 2 and pass, so I draw Perilia for turn. So now I have another Perilia. And right here I could have played, but I opted not to, because I had 2 Perilia, so I wanted to, like, drop this second Perilia. He passes to me. And now I'm like, all right, well, now I'm going to try and play because, like, I have Poseidra. Poseidра's going to be able to pitch. I think I drew Prince too, so I pinched the 3rd Perilia to summon out Poseidra. We're going to force the back row here. This is what makes Poseidra so insane, is, like, going second, being able to dump for cost. If I knew I was going to go second, you could also side Marksman, and then, like, right here in this particular scenario, you could dump Marksman and just solve 2 of these sets in one go. But instead, I attempt to go ahead and send Dragoons. Dragoons effect will attempt to add. He's going to bounce back the card. He's going to Ash the Dragoons. Understandable, but I drew... oh, no, I go Talents, look at his hand, I think. And and I shuffle back the Imperm. So now, like, I can play. And like I said, this happened twice in this entire video, where, like, you see Talents being able to shuffle back cards, and it's like, every deck can play Talents, man. That's, like, what's wild. At least Minstrel gives you your card back, you know? But I normal summon the Prince. I think his set card is a Droplet, if I remember correctly, and that's just, it's insane. Prince dumping for cost. Like, I argue and say, like, every deck needs a Prince, but in this, like, game 3 here, after this one comes up, you're going to see, spoiler, like, we get game 3, but you're going to see why Prince is, like, not being on summon does cause, like, its weakness sometimes of being on summon. So I go Prince, Sin for cost. Dragoons not being once per turn, being such an old card that it is going to, like, allow me to keep up in this game here. But it looks like from what I see, man, he saw, like, no engine. 0 engine. I'm just thinking, I was like, all right, man, I got to think here because, like, which I really didn't need to think. Like, I understand he's playing Flame Swordsman, so he has no 1-card starter. He has 1 card in hand. I know the 1 card in hand. Or I think he has 2 cards in hand. But, like, I'm set. Like, I could literally get to Gaios and then no Gaios, and I think I'm still okay because there's no 1-card combo he could get to. I mean, I guess technically if he was able to draw the level 4 Swordsman, 1 level 4 Swordsman can get you into the Ultimate Flame Swordsman, which would be enough to beat a Gaios, especially if he has droplets in hand. He could just droplets pitch the extra card in his hand. So, like, I guess hindsight, yeah, like, in this scenario, we'd be Primitive Yu-Gi-Oh, and that would do it. So I end up adding the squad. I go Minstrel. I'm just going to go ahead and rip the Ash out of his hand. Summon out Squad, or Squad is going to summon out, I think, Pike, but I have no cards left in hand. But this is okay because I'm able to, like, since I drew Perillia, this is, I was mentioning earlier in the video why Perillia is so insane in Mermails is because it's a water attribute, right? But what also is insane, it's Aqua, which means, like, it has low attack. Well, I guess that doesn't translate over. It's an Aqua, which is cool, but it also has low attack, so, like, we're able to reborn back out this and use it as level 4 fodder. That's what I'm getting to. It's level 4 water. We end up making Toad and Netibus, so I kind of, like, knowing he has Droplet, I think it's just kind of bad. He draws an Imperm for turn. We just scoop it up here. And we're on to this all-important game 3, where I got to be able to break his board. And this is going to be crazy, man. So my hand's, like, it's Ash, Imperm, double Prince, and I think a Pike. So, like, we do open double hand trap. And, like, what's crazy, man, is, like, this ain't me just throwing hand traps willy-nilly. Like, I know where to potentially hit this deck. And I know, like, the interactions, like, when I want to hit stuff, you know? So, like, so this is, like, solid. So he goes Heritage of the Chalice. Resolves. I'm not going to throw my Ash Blossom, my Heritage this way. He grabs Ogier. And this just kind of shows, like, some of the utility that the Flame Swordsman stuff does give the deck. He activates he hard open Flame Swords Realm. He activates it pitching to summon out the old G Flame Swordsman. I'm like, all right, no big deal. He normal summons Ricky Ardetto to bring back out Ogier to dump. I actually have been experimenting. I think maybe playing more Ricky Ardetto in, like, the future builds might be the way to go. Now, hear me out, right? Because when you do get the new stuff, with Dark Flare Swordsman, you're able to pretty much go full combo without. So he attempts to go ahead and send Salamander. I Ash here. Let me explain why I Ash here. It's because I don't want him to get access to the trap. Because even if I Ash later on and throw Ash Imperm like here, the trap is still going to book him in my first summon, which is Prince. Prince not being on summon is tremendous, right? So that's why you Ash there. So he goes in and gets Angelica. Now I know my Imperm is going to be right for Angelica. But anyway, just to go ahead and talk about playing more Ricky Ardetto, because, like, you can combo underneath your normal without using your normal summon now. That's what's wild. If you open Dark Flare plus Extender or Dark Flare plus any way to Renault combo, right? So you play, you get nibbed, you get hand trapped, you search Ricky Ardetto, normal Ricky Ardetto brings back out a level 4, and then you make your Angelica or later make your Roland. And so that's what I've been thinking. That's, like, some of the ideas I'm tinkering with. I don't know how that might be. Again, this deck, Infernobles have, like, the same issue that, like, Mermails kind of have. Everything's, like, extremely searchable, so, like, you can get away with playing copies of. In some forms, non-Seal Canth builds play, like, one Shrine, one Pike and stuff like that because they're insanely searchable and accessible through the combos. And that's, like, the same mentality I have when trying to copy and paste. Like, I truly believe Infernoble became better Mermail, and now Mermail has become better Infernoble. And they're very much the same coin, different heads or tails, different attributes. They both do very interesting things. But right now, he's playing through it. I Imperm the Angelica. He goes ahead and he uses Museum to move forward. He hard makes Charles here using the level 4, and yeah, like, we're pretty much off. We're off pretty good here. He hasn't exhausted the Turpin. Turpin was equipped. He has the Oliver here, so now he's just trying to think, and I'm trying to help him think too, because, like, again, like, these are matches that you want to both. Of course, I want to win, but I also want to see Infernoble do good as well. So we're sitting here and we're like, all right, now I'm like, hey man, like I think you have a particular line to get to Charles and SP, and that's good enough. Like I used to know I have 3 cards in my hand. Now, given if like I had like now if I drew access to Poseidra, Teus, Shrine, like it would be like a different story. But under the presumption of what I know I have in my hand, I know just making Charles or just the Synchro Charles alone would be enough. So he ends up going, equipping the Roland, or equipping the Oliver to make the OG Charles to go ahead and equip. We see him, and this kind of sucks having to do, but we do it. We go into SP, and I mean, that sucks to do that, but that's okay. So we are going here into the end phase, resolving Charles to go ahead and equip here, to go ahead and equip the Malgus. He opts to, I think, pop the Malgus, and that's okay. Popping the Malgus is perfectly fine. Malgus gets equipped. He pops the Malgus to go ahead and shuffle. Back here, you know what I'm noticing here? We're post-editing here. I'm not going to be able to go back and change it, but I think I forgot to ramp up the speed for this match, which is kind of ironic to have it slowed down at normal speed, so that way we can like walk through all the Infernoble stuff and everything. So that's interesting. Gotta love editing, guys. Like, I was doing this at like 12:30 at night, 1 o'clock in the morning, because I knew if I didn't get this done, the Banlist was going to come and like axe this deck, and it would make all this recording that I did irrelevant. So yeah, he just got Turpin there. He's just, you know, saying like Turpin should be banished because of that. So he's going to shuffle back Ricardale, Turpin. I think he goes for Renault? Renault, I think, is the correct call. No, he goes for Ogier. Okay, interesting. Shuffle back 3, get a draw. And I think his hand's like Ash, and something else. But it's like I said, like no, like he doesn't know what my hand is. But what I'm staring down right now, I know that this is more than enough. If my draw is not Poseidra, if my draw is not Teus, if my draw is not Shrine, like I know my hand cannot beat Charles's 1 pop, which is like wild. That thing. So he draws for turn. I think he drew Ash, so he has Ash, and Unknown. And we go ahead. I remind him, I was like, hey, don't forget your Roland. Roland's going to be able to get you follow-up or get you access to Gearfried if he wants to. But this list he was playing did not play Gearfried. And Gearfried, like I said, man, this deck is so much like Mermail's. It's like insane, man. So like Mermail's have Molten Glacia. Infernobles have Gearfried cards that sometimes you don't want to see, sometimes you want to see. And I was just telling him, like, hey, you gotta like, and since he's played Infernobles, like, he didn't play back in the day when you made like hard made Roland, so he kind of forgot like Roland dumps and like adds. He thought it just added, and so he's just, you know, correcting stuff like that. Especially since like in the new modern combos, you're never making Roland the old-fashioned way. You're just cheating out with Angelica. But yeah, so we end up drawing for turn. I'm like, yeah, well, this might be enough. He's like, I don't know, man. Like Charles, I was like, Charles and SP might not be it. I was like, dude, you have a spell and trap negate, which is useless against me, believe it or not, just because, yeah, don't play a lot of spells, enough to spells to negate. But I pop and SP is still pretty good. And I draw, and I just like kind of like look, and I forget what I drew. I think I drew a hand trap, another hand trap, and it's like, wow. So didn't draw what I needed. So I'm like, maybe, I mean, you know, like hindsight, just scoop it up right, because I know like he knows what to do. But, you know, maybe he'll let the Prince resolve, and if the Prince resolves, like, we get off to the races. So I normal summon Prince, and this is where Prince on summon would be great, but sadly it's not. He's going to chain Roland to equip the Charles. Charles popped the Prince, and that's all she wrote. But if you guys enjoy this long-form content, comment down below. Do you guys want it to be commentated? Do you guys want it to be, like, action? You know what I mean? Like, do you want it to be, like, that type of stuff? But please stay safe, stay healthy. This is Charles from Team COG, signing out.